teaching you another guitar lesson. Marty, thank you so much for having me. I would like to talk about today the essential country and blues licks that you can throw into your toolkit to use whenever you're jamming with your friends, or maybe you're jamming at home. But these are a few licks that I love and I go to all the time in the middle of songs. You know, you can throw them in pretty much in anything and even base new licks off of these starting places. Let's get right into it. First, I'd like to go over the minor and major pentatonics. So if you are familiar with these, then this will just be a nice review. If not, the minor pentatonic, there are patterns all the way up and down the neck, but for this lesson today, we're going to just think about and focus on the first pattern. So your minor pentatonic in, let's say, the key of A, we'd start on our 5th fret, and it sounds a little bit like this. That's your minor pentatonic in the key of A. And your major pentatonic in the key of A sounds a little bit like this. So those are your minor and major pentatonics. If you want to check out these scales a little bit more in depth, make sure to check Marty's videos about these scales. We'll put the links right here for you. Okay, so now that we've gone over minor and major pentatonics, we'll stick in the key of A for the course of today. But these are some of my favorite licks, and the cool thing about licks is they can be very simple. They don't need to be something extravagant. It's all in the way and the feel of how you play something. So let's stick in the key of A. The first lick I'm gonna show you is very short. It's just a lick that sounds like this. It's very short, but it is so effective. You know, you can probably hear it in a lot of Hendrix songs almost. But when you're in the key of A, and let's say, you know, we're playing a country or blues song. And so sometimes I like to play a minor pentatonic over a song in the key of A when we're playing country and blues. But you can add in, and then you can even at the end of that riff, as long as you're staying within the box of your pentatonic, you can go so many places after that lick. But this is kind of a nice place to start. And so all I'm doing is bending your 7th fret on the G string, and you kind of cut it off. You can rake into it if you want, or you can just play the note. And then you play the 5th fret on the G string. You can add a little vibrato if you want. I always like that. And finish it however you like. Okay, so that's lick 1. It is so small, but so effective. Lick number 2. I use this lick all the time in the middle of my solos. It can be heard in a lot of music. You know, a lot of your favorite guitar players, I'm sure you can listen through some of their playing and hear elements of this lick. I'm using the minor pentatonic again, and there's a couple of different ways you can finish this lick. So I'll play it the way I use it the most. Okay, so the lick sounds like this. Or you can finish it like. But basically you're starting with bending that same 7th fret on the G string. And then you're raking down with your 5th fret on the B and E string. And then you can either bend this note on the B string on your 8th fret and add a little vibrato, or you can, so you can play, so that's raking up. You kind of finish it with 8, 5. And it's just so effective. You can play this lick in so many different kinds of songs, but specifically in country and blues. If you were playing a song in the key of A, using your minor pentatonic in this lick would be so cool. People would be like, okay, they're ready to play. You're ready to play. All right, that's lick 2. So a lot of times when I'm playing in country or blues music, I like to mix my minor and major pentatonic. It doesn't always work with pop songs, sometimes when you're playing in major keys, but with country and blues songs, it kind of lends itself to either using the minor or the major pentatonic over the same chord progression. And sometimes my favorite licks incorporate both of them. It's a way to sort of float in between both scales and use them, and it sounds so pleasing to the ear so that you aren't always stuck in this box or this box. You can mix them together. So let's say we're in the key of A still. If you kind of envision the pattern of your minor pentatonic and your major pentatonic at the same time, and then you can just play licks across both of them. So this is, again, a very easy lick, but it mixes your minor and major pentatonic in one. So we're in the key of A. So again, I'm staying within that same box, using those same notes. I'm kind of sliding into the 7th fret on the G string, and then I'm pulling off to the 5th fret. I'm playing the 7th fret on the D string, and then I'm hammering on, and this is the change from your minor pentatonic to your major pentatonic, from the 5th fret on the G string to the 6th fret. And that kind of transitions you into your major pentatonic. So you can play both scales over this same chord progression, which just like opens up your brain to so many more options and ideas. But that whole like massive concept is based on this tiny little lick that can help you transition in between the both of them. Okay, that's lick 3. Lick 4. I always call this like the major box. It's like, so it's the top of your major pentatonic scale, and it's basically 5 notes, but you can use them in so many different ways. So if we're in the key of A, your major pentatonic would be right here. And I'm only going to focus on the top 3 strings. So this is your E string, your B string, and your G string. And using these 5 notes, you can play so many different licks in these 5 notes. And I have even spent days just practicing. I'd like throw on a progression, and I would practice soloing with only these 5 notes. I'm like, I can only use these 5 notes. And you'll really see how creative you can get using the same area, the same 3 frets on the guitar. A solo doesn't need to be this elaborate thing up and down the neck. It really, to me, a solo is more about the melody that you're playing. And so if you kind of restrict yourself to playing a solo within 3 frets on 3 strings, it really forces your brain to sort of get more creative with what you can do with those notes. So we're in A still, and let's see how many notes how many licks I can make up in this major box. Here, let's get a little chord progression going. Okay, so I'm only going to stick in the major box. Okay, so you get the point. But I loved just being able to practice with only those, like, challenge yourself, I guess. Challenge yourself is what I'm saying. And try only soloing with a very small window. And it will force you to really get creative with the licks that you can come up with. Those 5 notes, the major box, the top of your first scale is gold. It's liquid gold. Okay, the last lick I'm gonna show you for today, lick number 5, goes back to our minor pentatonic. You can also mix the minor with the major scale pattern with this lick as well. But it jumps a bunch of strings. And so the lick sounds like this. Again, it's super easy, but you can rake into that first note. So you rake into the 5th fret on your high E string. And then you kind of slide into the 7th fret on your G string. I use a lot of hammer and pull-offs, as you can see, but you pull off to the 5th fret on the G string. And sometimes I even bend the 5th string up, so, and that would be technically hitting that major note. So, all right guys, those are your essential country and blues licks that can give you a little insight into where you can go with your minor and major pentatonic scales. Make sure to subscribe and follow Marty Music and check out my channel. All the links are below. We'll see you next time.